So let's go back to these numbers here again. We have startup, we have active, and we have recovery frames, right? So you know basically what the total number of frames it takes to do a move is. The thing about it now here is that what starts to become important is those are the frames, those are the numbers that you care about if your buttons are missing, like if they're not hitting the opponent necessarily. What becomes really important here are these extra two numbers over here, advantage on guard and advantage on hit. Okay, so these are two very important numbers here, and they're very much related to the frame data. And now you're asking yourself, how the heck does all this data apply? Like, what do you mean that these numbers apply to frame data? So what is advantage on guard and what is advantage on hit? Well, let me do something over here. Let's go over here. As soon as, hello XSplit, please change camera views. There we go. So here we go. So I'm going to walk around here like this, and I'm going to hit the opponent. Boom. So I'm hitting him, right? Okay, I'm hitting him. Now I'm going to set the computer to all block. And he's blocking my move, like so. So he's defending against my move here. So block, and then of course, like I said, set him to hit, and now I'm punching him and hitting him. So very important concepts here. If you connect with your opponent, those are the only two basically options that you're going to get. Is you're going to get a hit or you're going to get a block. Now, when you hit the character, when you actually punch him in the face, you notice that, you know, the reaction of the character is to kind of go, ah! You know, they get hit and they reel back and they go, ah! And, you know, they're kind of, they have to animate. Same thing as, you know, doing a move. When you punch them, they have this reeling animation that has to go through a certain number of frames as well. And it doesn't matter how many frames they go through this. That's not important. All you have to know is that they're stuck going like this. Ah! And pretty much after you punch them and they're going ah! And reeling back like this, during the course of that time, if you hit them with another move, that's what a combo is. Because when they're hit and they're reeling, they're stuck that way. They can't do anything. They can't defend. They can't do any moves. So you throw another move into them and you hit them, and that's what a combo is. This is the entire concept of combos, is that you keep hitting the opponent during their reeling animation so that they can never recover in time to get to a point where they can defend. That animation of when you hit the character and they go ah like that and then come back to normal, that is known as hit stun. The amount of time that your character takes to reel is called hit stun. Now, when they defend a move, they block. They block, but then you notice what happens when they block is that they're kind of stuck in this blocking animation for a little while. You know, they block and they're stuck. So again, same kind of concept here as hit stun, except rather than getting hit, you're blocking. So if I hit you with a move and you block it, before your block animation ends, and I hit you with another move, you're forced to block that as well because you haven't recovered from your defense. You haven't recovered from the block, so you can't recover and do anything yet. That's kind of known as a block string, a true block string. If I hit you with a move and then during your block stun, as opposed to hit stun, if I hit you out of your block stun with another move and you block it, that's called a true block string because there's nothing you can do in between those two hits. You have to block both of them because the second one came fast enough. So let's go back to the game over here. So we have the game here like this. So this, boom, you see him reel? You see Nash go, ah! He goes, ah! Reels his head back and throws his headphones off his head. When you jump kick him like that, if I hit another button and hit him during that hit stun, I get a 2-hit combo. Boom, 2-hit combo, right? Boom, boom, 2-hit combo. Or I can do the 2-hit combo because I hit him with this move and then I still hit him again while he's reeling. 2-hit combo. If he's blocking everything and I do something like this, boom, boom, what he's actually doing is blocking a kick, and he's stuck in block animation. Look at his arm. His arm stays up. Boom. And you see how when he lowers his arm, that's when he's finally out of block stun. But if I do 2 moves fast enough, like that, he can't get out of it in time. He's forced to block the second hit. So that's known as a true block string. That's block stun. And as I mentioned, if he's not blocking, that's a combo. That's a combo because the second hit him before he recovered. Now, the reason why I talk about this, the reason why I'm mentioning this, is because hit stun and block stun are very important concepts to learn. Again, when you get hit and you go, that's hit stun. When you block a move and your arm, and you're in your defensive posture until you can move again, that's block stun. The reason why it's very important to talk about these things is because hit stun, as I said, has a set number of frames that it has to go through to finish animating, and block stun has that as well. The problem is that in Street Fighter V, same with Street Fighter IV, same with Mortal Kombat X, for example, same with Killer Instinct. A lot of games do this now. This wasn't the case a long time ago, but now a lot of modern games do this. Hit stun is generally longer than block stun. Every time you hit somebody, if I hit someone with a heavy punch, the animation of them going, is always going to be slightly longer than if they block my heavy punch. If they block my heavy punch, it's like block, and then they're ready to go. That block stun animation, I would say in 99% of the moves in this game, there may be exceptions. I'm not sure which ones they are yet because we're still learning this game a lot. 99% of the times, hit stun is going to be longer than block stun. So what happens here, if we go back to these numbers, we're going to see these numbers on advantage on guard and advantage on hit. So what does this even mean exactly? Advantage on guard is 2, advantage on hit is 4. What does this mean? Like, how does this even apply to anything, right? Well, the concept behind these numbers here is that once the enemy goes into block stun, they have a set number of animation frames they have to go through, right? Now, I just did a standing light punch, right? So I hit him on my first active frame, and then he goes into hit stun, right? So let me go back to the game screen over here. I'm going to go over here, walk up to him, and hit him with light punch, standing light punch. So when I hit him, you can see that the real animation, the hit stun animation, is not as dramatic. He's not going, he's just kind of going, right? So it's very fast. But so is my light punch as well. Now, once I hit Nash with my standing light punch, what's actually going to happen is that 2 things are going to happen at the exact same time once a move connects. And that is, Nash is going to go into a hit stun animation, and my attack has to finish animating. Right? Because I'm in the middle of my attack. I just punched him, and now I have to do my follow-through. So once I've hit Nash, he goes into a hit stun, I finish my animation. Both of those have to animate at the same time. You see them animate at the exact same time. Well, guess what? One animation is going to finish before the other animation most of the time. So if I hit him with my light punch, I had a few set number of frames that I have to go through before it finishes. And once I hit Nash, he has to finish going through his real animation, and at some point in time, both of us will recover, and both of us will be ready to do an action. Now remember when I said that frames are a measurement of time. Frames are a measurement of time. If you go back to this frame data over here, and you look at advantage on guard versus advantage on hit, what this basically means is when I punch him and I hit Nash, I have 4 frames. My animation is going to finish 4 frames before Nash's does. So in other words, my standing light punch will recover and I am free to move 4 frames before Nash finishes his hit stun animation. That's why it's really important to understand frames as a measurement of time. You can see that if Nash blocks my standing light punch, my light punch, which will go through the same animation as before, however, Nash's block stun animation is shorter than his hit stun animation. So by the time Nash recovers from his block stun, it's already been 2 frames that Ryu has recovered. So in other words, Ryu's light punch finished 2 frames before Nash's block stun did. If I hit him, Ryu will recover 4 frames ahead of time. If he blocks it, Ryu will recover 2 frames ahead of time. That's really important to understand. Again, hit stun, block stun, different things, right? Different lengths. And unfortunately, there's no universal math to this either, especially here in Street Fighter V. In Street Fighter IV, it was pretty consistent, but I feel like in Street Fighter V, hit stun and block stun are just kind of all over the place, whatever they felt like they wanted to make the moves. And it's a very calculated game. This game is a very calculated and very scientifically designed game. I can totally tell what they were thinking when they were making a lot of this game with normal moves and such like that.